alarm anybody right now, but the person sitting to your right is a liar. And the person sitting to your left is also a liar. And most of all, the person sitting in your very, very spots are also liars.
No way.
In our society, lying is considered to be bad. But it's not as bad as you might think. We're all liars. In order to determine whether lying is bad or good, I decided to conduct extensive research on the ethics of lying. So for the next minutes, I'd like to first explain how lying is essential for maintaining relationships. Next, prove that lying is a part of being human. And finally, show that lying helps us achieve our goals. So I'd like to begin by first explaining how lying is essential for maintaining our relationships. Now, we've all heard the adage that honesty is the best policy. And while this is true in certain situations, it is false in others. When we hear the word lie, we tend to think of trickery or deception. But these types of lies are associated with a negative connotation. There are many types of lies that aren't meant to do harm. You may have heard of a white lie. The Oxford Dictionary defines a white lie as a harmless or trivial lie, especially made to avoid hurting someone's feelings. According to a September 2014 study by the Proceedings of the Royal Society, white lies help to smooth the flow of interaction and facilitate a larger and more integrated social network. In essence, what they mean is that white lies help us connect to other people. So we lie so that we will not have to offend others and to avoid these uncomfortable situations, which brings me to my next subpoint, that lying not only helps to prevent psychological harm, but that it also keeps us polite. When we talk to other people, we try to appear as polite as possible. What if someone asked you if this dress made them look fat? Well, in order to avoid these uncomfortable and awkward situations, we often resort to lying. According to a 2002 study by the University of Michigan psychologist Robert Feldman, on average, individuals lie from 3 times for every 10 minutes of conversation. These lies are told to appear polite, but this study also shows that lying is found in our everyday lives. Let's look to social media, for instance. How many of you have clicked the like button without actually liking something that was posted online? Well, maybe you wanted to support a person, even if you didn't like what they had written. Well, I personally have done this many times, and chances are you have too. But what about text messaging? When someone texts you when you're in a bad mood, do you respond with bitter feelings, or do you mask that feeling with politeness? Occasionally you might respond cruelly or unjustly, but most of the time you probably try to come off as polite. But lying isn't only found in social media. In fact, it's found in our everyday interactions. If people ask you if you're fine, the answer always seems to be, yes, I'm fine, even when you're not. And what about homelessness? When we walk past a homeless person who's asking for spare change, we often find ourselves saying, we're not carrying change at the moment, when in reality we are. The point is, we try to lie to appear polite. And this isn't inherently bad, for it spares the hurt feelings of other people. So now that we understand how lying helps us maintain relationships with others, let's move on to how lying is a part of being human. Lying is a part of being human. So as much as we hate to admit it, we have all lied at one point or another in our lives. And we've all lied at one point or another in our lives. And science shows that lying is actually a natural human feature. According to a 2011 article by the Truth About Deception online organization, infants will pretend to cry, pause, wait to see us coming, and go back to crying. Between the ages of 2 and 3, children will start to lie when they have broken an established rule. By the age of 5, children will learn to pepper their lies with realistic details, and by the time they are teenagers, children will lie more frequently than ever. The results just come to show that lying is part of human development. And that it's just a human feature. But enough about humans. What about animals? Well, you may have heard of Coco the gorilla. Coco the gorilla was taught sign language as a form of communicating with humans. Well, according to a January 2013 article by Mike Bundren, on one particular instance, Coco the gorilla was left alone with a kitten. And After leaving the room and coming back, scientists were astounded to find that Coco the gorilla blamed the kitten after ripping a zinc out of the wall. The results just comes to show that lying is animals are capable of lying just as humans are. And while gorillas are capable of lying, they are not the only types of animals that are capable of lying. An October 2013 magazine article by the columnist Molly Indelicato found that snakes and farm animals are capable of playing dead, and this is a form of lying. The point is, lying is a feature that is found in animals, and animals lie to protect themselves, much like humans lie. So, in essence, lying is a human feature because it is bound to our instincts. So now that we've established how lying is a part of being human, let's move on to how lying helps us achieve our goals. When you hear the word lie, you tend to think of someone inflicting harm on another person. But what happens if you lie to yourself? Well, contrary to popular belief, lying to yourself can actually prove to be beneficial. According to a July 2013 article by Jen Dahl, a columnist for The Wire, pretending to be smarter or more talented than yourself actually increases and boosts your confidence levels. So that, as a result, you're more likely to achieve your goals. For instance, if you say that I'm going to ace this test, then you are much more likely and scientifically proven to be more likely to ace that test. So now that we've understand how lying helps us achieve our goals and boosts our confidence, let's review what we've covered. So earlier I mentioned that by learning that lying is not always bad and that sometimes it is necessary for the betterment of our society. So in this speech, I briefly talked about how lying is necessary for maintaining relationships, explained how lying is a part of being human, and showed how lying it helps us achieve our goals. So the next time you catch yourself telling a lie, just remember that we all lie from time to time, and that it's a human feature, but that you have to remember that sometimes lying can be the right decision in life.